Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Three Dads and a Console. We know not every dad can stay up to date on the latest and greatest in video game news that you need to know about. So we are here to do it for you. Remember, this show is kid-friendly, so no earmuffs are needed. Now on with the show. I'm one of your hosts, Waba Plays, alongside, back from wherever, Court.
Oh, it wasn't wherever. It was a PlayStation showcase, and I had to do the longest podcast in the history of the PlayStation Drive.
It's me and Pez went to hang out after, and
Well, we'll
yeah,
talk about the
we saw you
PlayStation
doing your
showcase.
thing.
Yeah,
And
everybody was crying. Everybody was crying after the PlayStation showcase. But I've also been playing a ton of video games. I've been playing Super Mega Baseball.
Woo!
Yeah.
Here we go.
From our thank you to my friends over at EA. I appreciate the game. I'll be playing it for a bit. I also got Diablo, but I'm gonna be playing I think I put it about almost 4 hours into Super Mega Baseball. I played a lot of Super Mega Baseball.
We'll be getting into that more in depth soon enough. Also here is someone who's weirdly representing the Red Sox. Pez.
Good day, lads. How we doing today?
Why?
First off,
why?
Because I put the shirt on and it fits beautifully.
It's one of those nice
it's a good cut and it makes me
remote shirts.
Yeah, and it makes me look good. So I put it on. I was like, yes. You know, you put a shirt on, you feel good when you're wearing it. I was like, yes. So there we go.
I am wearing my. I worked out this morning and didn't have a time to change yet. From the Jimmy Fund, this was the. They're like, oh, we only have extra small and double. This I'm swimming in this. This shirt is gigantic.
So here's what. So Wawa, can you do me a favor?
No.
This involves leaving the house.
Oh, ew. No, I'll never do that.
Can you go to Walmart? Go buy a package of white T-shirts and use those at the gym. And here's the why. I sweat a lot. So when I even wear those any kind of shirts, it shows. But when you wear a white shirt, it shows nothing.
Dude, I like to show the sweat.
But I work out right here. And also the sweat makes people think that I'm working hard.
So you're wearing
it just means I'm
shirt that you worked out and you're all sweaty and you kept it on all day?
Yeah, man.
All right,
it's a busy work day.
No, it's not. You opened PAX on stream and almost wanted to cry.
If I don't,
he's like, I want Cole Caulfield, and I'm like, literally, my daughter Santa brought her tons of hockey cards. She got the Black Ice rookie Cole Caulfield. She got a blue diamond whatever David Pastrnak. She got a Matty Beniers SP rookie special print thing. Like she got Sorokin Young Guns. This girl pulls the best cards
must be
all
nice.
the time.
Must be nice.
Off the chain.
One of these days.
Off the chain.
But we are talking about. God, I was trying to use that off the chain. Talking about upcoming games that are off the chain. This is going to be a big week for big titles. Now,
oh yeah. Everybody, Waba wants to talk about Street Fighter. Just let him
we're going to talk about just a little bit about Street Fighter and Diablo. Pez, why don't you talk to us about Diablo first? You looking forward to it?
Unsure.
I pre-ordered that bad boy.
So I played the initial open beta. I think that was during
two of them.
I played the one that was during PAX. I played it like that same weekend. I think that was the open beta. Yep. It was fine. I played it with a friend and it was much better. Everything's better with a friend. So it's just like, of course it's going to be good. I disagree. I don't know, man. Billy Madison told me that you could light bags of poop on fire with friends and it's funny.
Yeah,
that's true.
I hate playing video games with people.
That's not true. How many times did we play the Division?
Division, I actually would love, you know what? I take that back. I need someone to come play the Division with me. Actually, Pez, can you please turn on? Oh yeah, you don't have it on PS. You have it on. You have a physical copy or digital copy?
I have it on PS. I can get it. I can re-download it on.
Can you? I need somebody to run 4 bounties with me because I can't do it by myself because I'm getting murked from back. You know, I can Sherpa you. I just need someone to be there with me.
That's right. Strap me on your back like you are Luke, and I am just Baby Yoda.
I just need him to revive me when I die. That's all. Because my build when I play this game, I make it so my guy he's fragile, but
Glass cannon.
when I shoot people, they die quick.
Sharpen me, you will.
Sharpen.
So I played that. It was, I played it with a friend. It was fun. I played it by myself. I was kind of bored. The reviews are spectacular. I'm gonna wait until the live service actually goes live, and then we'll see how the reviews go. I don't know if I want to give Blizzard my money right now.
I want to talk about those reviews, and I want to ask you guys a question. It's almost going to be a surprise topic here. How do you feel about the reviews that did come out for this game, and then we find out that a lot of the services, including the live service part and the store, are not live, and then some people, not all, some people that did review the game back that up by saying, well, we were sent screenshots of what it would look like, and said that's why I could review the game. How do you guys feel? And I know the team over at Carpill, we've talked about this a bunch, and I have a funny feeling. I know how you guys feel. Should more reviews say review in progress than say review nowadays, especially with any game that has a live service? Like, I would almost say that any live service game has to always be a review in progress. I don't think you could ever say it's a review because the game is always evolving.
I'll take this one.
Go for it.
Bungus, Your Honor. Thank you. It is.
Okay.
Well, bug out.
It is crazy that they're like, you know what? Like, yeah, we're just gonna let you play in advance, but like, we're not gonna show you all the stuff that like you're worried about, since we basically, stripped Overwatch 2 down to cash cow and made it not fun. No, we're just gonna show you a little bit, and we're not even gonna show you the whole thing, and you can put this out for your reviews. Like, it's
And
not,
you're not everything they did in their game doesn't transfer over.
no,
Everything.
but it's like one of those things. Like, okay, imagine if you will, this is the game at launch, which it won't be. And they're like, go ahead, take this for our word, because we've been so trustworthy in the past. No, that's not the real game. Don't be that's fine. Just call it a beta or alpha, beta, gamma. Call it a gamma.
Like, shouldn't it be a review in progress?
So
it shouldn't be anything. It's not the final build.
So I have issues with pre-release reviews these days, because let's take, for example, people are talking about Tears of the Kingdom not running well, and then all of a sudden they drop a day one patch, right? And then all of a sudden the game
Well, I
runs
think it was 3
very
days
well.
before release. I read a review about it. It was 3 days before release. They dropped a patch that made the game better.
So we as reviewers, we've been fortunate enough to get games early. Sometimes they run great, sometimes they don't. But guess what? None of that usually by day 0 means anything, right? So if it's from a technical standpoint, I usually take it with a grain of salt. I think what irritated me the most with the Diablo thing is not the praise Diablo got. I hope it's a good story. I hope there's an end
pre-ordered it.
game.
I'm very excited for the game. I just want to make that clear. Very excited.
No one really knows what the end game looks like,
Yes.
which is a huge thing with Diablo. That is like you grind through the story to get to the end game so you can start getting all your legendary loot and all that garbage. My issue is Biggie, that none of these reviews, well, at least the reviews I read or listened to, were like, oh, the cash shop wasn't working. Like, there was no disclaimer like, oh, these actually aren't live yet, so I don't know.
Now they're
what it
saying
looks like.
they are saying that anything that you can buy is cosmetic. But as a fan, we talked about Ubisoft. I'm a huge fan of Ubisoft games. Ubisoft is notorious for having things that you can buy in the game, but like Assassin's Creed, they waited till after launch and they were like, if you want an XP boost, you got to pay for it. Now, I'm okay with those kind of things because you can pay, like, that to me is okay. I know a lot of people are against that, but like, I was like, okay, so it's $4. I think it was $4 at the time, and I think it was on Odyssey. I think it was.
Mhm.
And if you pre-ordered the game, you could activate it or deactivated it. I was like, so you're getting me an XP? Sure. All right. I don't have a lot of time in my life. Sure. But when it's cosmetics, sometimes it annoys me. It's all like I know people get mad about pay to win, but when the game is not like ranked like Call of Duty or something like that, I don't know why people get mad. But when there's cosmetics, it's almost just like I want anything that you're able to buy to be able to still be earned in the game. That's what I want. I want it so if there's something I have to buy, unless it's the season's pass, you should be able to earn it in the game. A la MLB The Show.
Mhm. I just
You can buy things.
I just hate the idea of all of a sudden it's like, hey, get your $100 Diablo. Also, here's the cash shop. Also, we're gonna have a battle pass. So it's just like a forever.
$140 Canadian, by the way.
Yeah, it is a forever grind, which is what they want. So you'll be playing forever. But it's just like at some point, just pick one. Give me a cash shop or give me a battle pass, and like that's it. But I don't know. Again, I think all reviews for live service games should be review in progress because it's going to change all the time. Eventually that runs out. Like a year from now, it won't be a Diablo 4 review in progress. It'll be like a Diablo 4, the Gates of Hell update or whatever they're going to call it, right?
I agreed.
But for the launch window, which was generally 7 days from launch, it should be a review in progress because you could epically ruin a game like they did with Diablo 3 in the beginning with the auction house. You could epically ruin a game in the launch window. And if you're listening to whoever, right? If we got it early and you're listening to us and we're like, game's great, go play it. And all of a sudden you log in on launch day and the servers are a mess and the cash shop is just like, hey, come get your $30 barbarian skin. And hey, pay your $20 to skip 20 levels. It's like, oh, this just feels like I'm just paying to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, I'm annoyed that no one was like, oh, well, the cash shop actually isn't moving right now. And B, we know the story's good, but we don't know anything after that. Because if the end game blows, to put it nicely, if the end game blows, Diablo's dead.
Yep.
Why bother playing it?
And it's interesting to say that because a lot of with the Division 2, you and I liked the end game. We just didn't think it was long enough. Remember, Pez?
Yeah, it
We
just
were like,
wasn't long enough.
We the end game that they thought was going to be this carrot that you go to get. Me and Pez were like, so we got the carrot. It took us. I think we played it for a year. We played it for a year. I guess I'm complaining about something that I played for a year. That's not that bad. We played that game a lot, but
We played it a lot.
I just wanted to talk. Like in full thing here. I've pre-ordered the super duper edition of Diablo 4. Diablo is one of my favorite franchises. Believe it or not. I've been playing it since my high school on PC when Diablo 2 came out. Like the day it released, I played it. That's how old I am. But I'm excited for this game. I'm not into Tears of the Kingdom, and I've actually seen a lot of people fall off that game, which is very interesting. It got 9s out of 10s, yet everybody seems to not like it now, which is hilarious. Maybe they, gave it good scores too soon. Shocker. But that's what I've also noticed that a lot with reviews this year. We don't give scores here at Carpool. We just say whether we think you should
This
play
is
it or
Three
not.
Dads.
Jesus, my brain. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We don't give scores here at Three Dads either. We just say, can you play it in front of your kids, or should you buy it?
Yeah.
Or even, hey, the cost of these games nowadays, like, should you buy it or wait for it to go on sale? I think we do that a lot, right?
We do that a lot because scores, we've talked about this a million times. They don't mean anything, right? If you're grading on a 10-point scale, a 5 should be average.
Heck, we should now continue. We should just move forward on our reviews. Grade on how much the game costs. Is it worth our money?
Yeah,
because as parents,
not in Canada.
well, no, that's necessarily true. Our friends over at Outright, their games are not. They're reasonably priced here in Canada.
Yep.
Even they're not the super duper expensive games. They're not $100.
And
like most games, most major releases now are $109 plus tax.
I think price should be part of it. Like if you're paying 100, if you're paying $100 US, which is what, 120, 130 Canadian for like the ultimate edition, and the ultimate edition is just like a bunch of skins and a battle pass level. It's like, don't buy this. Yes, you will get it 3 days early.
4
or 4 days early.
It's a lot.
But like, you can wait. It's okay.
It's just waiting.
But that's personal preference. If I have the disposable income to do that on a game I really want, I'm gonna do it. Doesn't matter what some dork on the internet who wears a bandana during a podcast says. Doesn't matter.
Star Wars. I spent $100 on that game. I felt my money went. EA, love that game. Just gonna say it. I know I trash your game sometimes because you try and take my money, but Star Wars, you took my money and you did a good job with it. You made my money worth it. I appreciate it. The game was phenomenal. Star Wars Jedi, amazing.
I'm almost
Al-
done with that game. I've been
also-
playing it nonstop in the evenings.
If I may touch on
Dead
Court's,
Space, amazing.
if I may touch on Court's Tears of the Kingdom point, he's right. That game is almost too big.
That's what I'm hearing.
It is almost there are times when I log in, like I turn my Switch on and I'm like, all right, here we go. And then I get lost doing something. And then I just feel like I have so much to do. Overwhelmingly big sometimes.
Interesting.
I hate stuff like that. It's too much. Some people love that. But I feel like
Valhalla.
you get to a
got
stage in
Valhalla.
your life and you're like, I can't do this. Like I've passed on games because I'm like, it's just too much. Even Star Wars, I love the game, but I'm like,
Wow, but
I
that
need to
game's not that
stop
big, dude.
straying from the
That game
path because I gotta know the story. I'm like,
Dude,
I don't care about little, whatever that is going on here.
Star Wars isn't that big of a game, dude.
Well, no,
I
but
finished it.
going back to stuff, I'm like, I don't need to do this stuff. I'm done with that stuff.
Fair, okay. You want more of a linear path, like
I love
PlayStation
linear
3
games.
days.
Yeah, that's what I love. But it's interesting, and I don't know. It's too much sometimes, and it's interesting because I feel like the hype, not always, but I feel like Twitch is also like a good barometer. If you go on and see like how many people are playing your game, and obviously launch is going to be a lot, and you look like a 1 or 2 weeks after, and you find either people aren't because they're like tired of it, or they've already moved on to the next big thing. And it's interesting to observe.
Well, it also, there's talk about reviews and stuff also lends itself to talk about Street Fighter 6, right? Because Street Fighter 6 also reviewed incredibly well. And is coming out next week, end of this week.
Yup.
And Wab is like super excited for it, and I'll let Wab go on, but that's a good, but it again is the question of what build did they play? Right? Did we play an early build? Did we play a late build?
They have all the characters?
What does the cash shop look like? Because Capcom's gonna have one. They had one in Street Fighter 5, which almost ruined the game. The way they paywalled that bad boy. Clearly, it seems like they've learned their lesson from that. But yeah, so the reviews are out. It's reviewing really well. Again, 8s, 9s, 10s, killing it. It was something like 90% on Metacritic or something like yesterday.
It's really good for a fighting game.
Waba, talk to Court and I, the non-fightists.
Sell me on Street Fighter. Sell me on it.
So Street Fighter it's good for beginners as well. I said it's literally good for beginners. And people who are like really into it. So they have a simplified button scheme always, and I think that makes it accessible. But also too, you can play with like regular controls. But so Street Fighter 5, let me take you back. I bought the collector's edition, came with the statue. Statue was not good quality, did not fit on the base, which I hated. The experience was poor. So you could get new arenas, which is cosmetic, or fighters. You could get new fighters that for in-game currency. How do you get that in-game currency? You grind for it, or you like do certain things, or you pay for it. Now, the way you could get the in-game currency, you could only get a certain amount at launch. So you could not get everything that's new. So you had to pay if you wanted to. In the new fighters,
They
that is given.
Battlefronted you?
Excuse me?
Star Wars Battlefront is like notorious for like
Oh,
you couldn't earn anything. You had to pay for it.
You could earn, but you couldn't earn enough to get everything.
Well, that's what I just
Or
said.
you could get enough for like one character. Now, a character is a competitive advantage. So you can play against all the characters online, but you can't, like, especially over time, they come out with new characters. And, like, you find that the newer ones, not that they're always better, but some are. And it's very, like, meta. And also not to be able to practice against them, especially if you want to be part of, like, a competitive scene or get good. Like, if you can't play against them in the lab, like, you are just at the mercy of someone just tooling on you if they choose that person. So that was horrible. They also did like a tiered approach, like, okay, here's like this season, this season, this season. By the time Sakura was out, I was like, I'm out. So I stopped playing that game because one, the fighting, I mean the mechanics were like, I thought Street Fighter 4 was way more fun to play and watch, and also that in-game stuff. Bring you to Street Fighter 6. The mechanics apparently are very good. The controls are very fluid. People are like raving about it, which is like really encouraging, because I feel like 5 was just a misstep. And they also have like this single player mode, so if you don't want to go and get murked online,
Also, like Injustice type thing. I love Injustice.
yep. So they're doing like a online like story type mode is what they're sharing, and also like a battle hub where I think you can be with like other people and you can create your own character. So two things are cool.
We can
One
make
is
Waba in the game and beat him up.
I'm not gonna make. I'm fragile. I'm gonna have low HP.
Has
Glass cannon.
make Waba and we'll beat him up.
I'm not buying
But the
Street
cool
Fighter
thing is,
6.
one, that you have the versus scene, which is obviously the sweats, but also two, you have something for people that just like, playing it. And people are gonna make like ridiculous looking characters. Like it's gonna be like if you thought whatever people are making in Tears of the Kingdom was lewd, just wait. People are gonna go bonkers,
Yeah,
and that's kind of cool because they're not taking
Why
themselves
is that cool?
because they're not taking themselves super seriously. And I think they tried that with Street Fighter 5. It was very formal, rigid. Like it felt like there was like no soul, no passion in the game. I know that sounds weird to say, but like I feel like 4 was so hype and it had such like goofy things and the culture around it. And 4 is really where I got into like the scene. Like I say the scene,
Do you have
bystander,
a
but
fight stick?
I do. I have two. I have the Marvel vs. Capcom one. My wife got it for me. It was awesome.
Ooh.
I'm not, but here's
I
the thing.
bet
I'm
it
not
is
very
awesome.
good. I need to practice. But like it was such a cool like
Do
that.
people
in
know you're
Marvel-
not very good at a lot of games?
No,
I'm
I
terrible
lie.
at video games, but
No, I lie really well. I
okay.
can convince myself that I'm right, so that helps me convince other people.
We should
all
make a
about-
T-shirt.
it's
We
all
love
about that
video
high-
games, but then in like very small print, be like, I like video games, and then very small print, I'm not good at them.
It's all about that high charisma roll.
Waba's
high
literally
charisma
writing this
check.
down in his head.
You're in.
High charisma, low decks. My life.
That's right. That's right.
But
same girl.
this is a game I would say be excited about because you have a lot of people saying it's good. That's not the only reason, but the fact that like it seems like they've put a lot of passion into it, and it seems like they're listening to feedback. And again, my only concern is what we haven't seen the live service part. But if they don't choose to do such like a transactional like environment for these new characters, again, obviously they want to make their money, do a battle pass. So like, I don't know, but like that's what I'm worried about. Is because I stopped playing because there was no way for me to enjoy it at all without paying extra. And granted, I'm a Ryu main. I like Sakura. Sakura came out like a year. The game was dead. But that's where it is. Like, make the grind worth it, and make something that's interesting.
Well,
and that's good for players like me that are like, I would say, below average.
It seemed like when Street Fighter 5 came out, it was very bare bones. So it could be a like esports thing, and 6 seems very silly. I was watching a couple streams on Twitch today. Was it today? And it seems a lot more fun and less rigid than 5.
And they're doing a great job promoting it. I saw it at PAX. Some of the announcers that I watched, some of the players, like, were there. And I got to watch them like do this live. Like, this means nothing to you guys, but like Knuckle Dude was there and they like interviewed him. James Chen was like shoutcasting, and like these are people that like helped build my passion for the game, and they're getting them involved in promotion. Also, you can have James Chen's voice in the game. I don't know if like Ultra David's in it too, but like these are people like from the FGC community.
Not Ultra Dave.
No, Ultra.
The Ultra Dave?
Oh my
Ultra
god.
David. I know you guys don't care.
Yeah.
But just how do I put this?
I don't know.
I'm like, is this analogous to like Snoop Dogg being in NHL? But like these are people
dropping like we know who they are. It's just
if
like,
you know, you know.
dude,
But
like, just,
these are it's people
dude,
who
the
are
real OGs know, Pez. The real
Yeah.
OGs know.
not even OGs, but like it's just cool that they're doing that and they're listening to feedback, and that's very important for a game like this because you need to come back strong. Otherwise, if you have 2 bad outings in a row, especially when your games are this far apart, people aren't going to want to play your crap anymore.
Don't call it a comeback.
Especially
I hope it is.
especially a major
Wouldn't.
game like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Mortal
fighting
Kombat's
games
coming out and that looks
Exactly.
great, and people are so excited, and they are going to do well. Tekken just announced. By the way, total Taylor Swift, Katy Perry move, where Street Fighter is like, hey, we're doing a beta this weekend, and Mortal Kombat's like, oh yeah, by the way, here's our announcement that Friday. Get wrecked. That was a very Taylor Swift move. Love it. But Tekken announced too. So you again, you have a lot of competition. You have to be better.
Did you
True.
just somehow Taylor Swift, Tekken, Street Fighter all as the
It was
same
great.
thing?
Wasn't it great? It was great.
It was. I
It was
didn't see
great.
that coming. Honestly,
Was
I'm impressed.
Knucklebones? Is that his name? Knucklebones?
Knuckle do.
Knuckle Dude? Is he the guy?
Knuckle do.
Knuckle Dude? Is he the guy that we saw while we were looking through the games? And you were like, I think that's blah
No,
blah.
that was
blah.
James Chen. I saw him.
Oh, James Chen.
I didn't want to bug him because it's the end of the day, but it was cool.
I would have
to see
bugged
them.
him. I would have bugged him. You should have said something like, "Oh my gosh, I really want to like meet him."
Well,
I would've been like,
they-
James,
they-
and then we look down. James Chen.
They could do Super Mega Baseball. They have creator teams. They have like Demu. Like they have pretty much all the guys that you see from the MLB The Show. They all have teams in the game. So maybe Street Fighter could have like creators. Like you could unlock these Nickel Do and stuff. Is that Knuckle Do? Sorry. Knuckle
No,
Do?
don't apologize
Nickelback.
to me. I don't know these people personally. I just watch
Is
a
his
lot.
name really Knuckle Do?
I
Not his-
believe
it's
it's
his fighting
pronounced.
name.
I believe it's pronounced Nickelback.
So I used to take off work.
Remind me of what I really played.
I used to take off work to watch Evo. And there's one time where my internet was down the Friday Evo happened. So believe it or not, I went to the gym and went on the treadmill and walked so I could use their internet to watch. That's how bad I wanted to watch. I went to the gym on purpose.
Do you
You were
know
deep
that
in the
I was
sauce.
old enough, Waba, to play Street Fighter when it wasn't on consoles?
I have a cabinet. You can't see it.
That's
I
not
have a
what. No,
cabinet here.
Waba. You were alive when it was always on consoles. I was alive when the only way to play that game was go to the arcade and get greasy.
Did you
Pump those
hustle?
quarters in.
elbows.
Pump
buddy,
those
Did you
quarters
hustle?
into Street Fighter 2
I was actually pretty good at the
Championship
game.
Edition.
I used Ryu, and I cheesed out in the corner because you just do the kick. You do the
Oh
cheese
my
kick.
god, you're one of
Nope.
them.
Nope. It's
Yeah.
all about
You know what you
do.
are? When you're 8 years old, Waba, you do what you need to do.
You survive.
You fight
Yeah.
with
It's a
every
quarter,
ounce.
man. Those quarters, that was a lot
Yeah.
of money back then.
Yep. You never
When you
want to
kick
look
an
at the.
ankle,
You never want to look at the
100%.
dude who puts his quarter on the thing. He's like, I got next. And you're like,
Yeah,
all right,
100%.
I got you, buddy.
And then came Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Yeah.
arcade, and
The
then
best.
WWF Superstars,
Yep.
and there was nothing else. It's just like
Nope.
those three just
Mortal
rotate,
Kombat
rotate,
2?
baby.
Mortal Kombat 2 was my
No,
jam.
Mortal Kombat at my local it was called Blue Band, was the store that had all the arcade machines. Mortal Kombat, none of us really cared, because if you didn't figure out how to do all the fatalities,
Fair.
it's like Street Fighter was better, the
Yeah,
combat's
true.
better, and then more of us were more inclined to, because when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, X-Men came out, the arcade machine.
oh,
X-Men
done.
was pretty much Ninja Turtles, but with X-Men skins, and you get to be
Ins-
Wolverine. You're like,
Yeah. It's
later
lots-
Mortal
well,
Kombat.
6
Mortal
people.
Kombat 1 blew us all away because it was different.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I would say if you went in order, WWF Superstars was huge because 4 of us could play and you could do Royal Rumbles. And then Street Fighter came out and we're like, oh my God. But then Street Fighter got messy because you get mad at people. And then Ninja Turtles came out and we're like, okay, now we're a team. We're all play
Mhm.
together. We're all kumbaya. Let's see if we can finish it. And it would probably cost about $4, but you'd be able to make it through the whole thing. And then Mortal Kombat came out and it was like, wow. But then X-Men came out and nothing could beat it. X-Men was the best.
6 people. Oh man.
Dude, so
Imagine
good.
being Dazzler.
2 screens.
Seriously.
Dude, Pez, it was the best game.
Welcome to
Best
die.
arcade game ever.
Sure.
My wife
I mean,
hates that
Simpsons
Dazzler
also
sound.
pretty good.
Oh, Simpsons.
Simpsons was good. Good call. I totally
It
forgot
was
about
good.
that. X-Men
It was
was
Dude, when we go to Maine this summer,
Fun spot.
my brother and I have already planned to take the tweens to Fun Spot.
I love Fun Spot.
Did they have the
They don't
old
have it-
games?
Yes.
So they don't have X-Men, but one of the spots, like by the restaurants down the street, does.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it has a three
You know what's
panel
not
X-Men.
bad? You know what's not bad in the arcade? Halo. It's actually better than Infinite.
Really?
Yeah, the Halo arcade game is pretty good. The only thing I don't like about the arcade games, and I think I told you guys when I was in Florida, I was running shop on the Transformers one, and I finished the level, and it made me put in more money, and I'm like,
Come
"Oh,
on.
that's not how arcade games should work. If you it's till you die.
Yeah.
It's till you
Not
die.
anymore. It's all because as an avid
Every level's
Chuck E.
No, but
Cheeser.
Halo isn't. Halo's till you die. You play
Oh.
until you
Yeah.
die.
Yeah, the old ones had it right. You play until you're done. The new ones are like, oh, you want to do this level, or like, oh, you died. Like, keep playing for like
There's
$5.
there's an
No.
arcade place in Toronto that I went to during the Xbox showcase last year. The night before the showcase, we went out and they had WWF superstars, and it was more funny the people that were playing. They're like, "Isn't it WWE?" And I look at them like, "Please stop."
Oh
And
my
The
gosh.
youngins. The
I'm
youngins.
either Ultimate Warrior or Big Boss Man, and no
Ooh,
one can touch
sheesh.
me. Big Boss Man was
Sheesh.
vicious in the Royal Rumble because he was like his clothesline was
Mm-hmm.
so vicious.
So good.
He was
So
like a
good.
cheat code. He's like using Toad in Super Mario Kart, and no one understands.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're just like you keep winning. They're like, "Why are you winning?" You're like, "You obviously have never played. You
Who knows?
shouldn't
The
be like
best.
you should
Who
be
knows?
automatically not allowing Toad." But when people don't say it, I'm just like, "I guess I'm Toad.
Yeah.
I've
All
won."
right. Oh, I guess I'll be told. And they're all like, "Ooh, you're told," and then you just zoom
Yeah,
in.
you just win.
Also,
I
Waba,
picked
you trying
Bowser's
to
because I
tell me?
use.
Waba, you trying to tell me a mouse named Charles Entertainment Cheese is a capitalistic hellscape? I don't believe it.
They use car. Can I? I know we're
Yes,
No.
you
talking about
can.
arcades. Chuck E.
Yes, you can.
Cheese does not give tokens anymore.
I know
They give
a
you a
lot of places
card
don't.
that you can power up. You can do two ways. One is a scam. The other is not. Well, until a certain age. One is you get a certain amount of play time, so it starts and you can have an hour. So if you're old enough, it makes sense because you can just churn. But if you're young and I can't do it with my kid, or you can get enough points. Now each game doesn't cost 1 point. It costs like 7 or 8 or 15, whatever it is. Or you can like it's so, dude, I have to do so much math to like optimize. It's unreal. I remember when I used to be able to go in and like put a coin in and it would like shoot down and it's like skill based. Now you scan the card for like 8 points, then you get a coin at the bottom that you then put in to do the skill game. It's
Yep. No more
unreal.
tokens. When I went to Maine, we went to North Conway in New Hampshire, and their arcade had no arcade games. It was all just ticket games. I was like, this blows. I don't want to do this. I want to play
Well, there's a
Pac-Man.
good arcade in Boston in downtown that I went to. It has like tons of arcades.
Mhm.
Has a bar. It's
Yeah,
really good.
there's a lot of arcade bars popping up around here. There's a good one in Boston. There's a good one in Salem, Mass. Yeah, Bit Bar. Go to Bit Bar.
There's
It's
one
a
of-
fun time.
what-
That's
as
the
long as
one.
it
Bit
has,
bar.
In
if
Salem,
it has
yeah.
burger time, you'll see me there all day. I don't
That's
need
a
to socialize
Coleco
with
game. You know
anyone.
that, right?
My
Do you know
favorite
what the Coleco is?
is when it old console,
Yeah, it
Sure
used to have a
is.
little turn. It used to have a
Coleco
little.
Master System.
You'd
Had the
actually have to
dial.
put a little card. Each game came with a little card that would slide into the controller that looked like a. Oh, it was weird. It was just this long thing with a circular thing at the top, and you would have to press the buttons and move. Man, we were smarter.
Yeah, now it's just dum dums.
Yeah,
Just
seriously.
dum dums.
True. I liked that little trip down memory lane. That was good.
Speaking
Speaking of
speak
trip down memory lane, I know you guys did a live stream of the PlayStation Showcase, but I wanted to talk to you both about the fallout, it seems, of the PlayStation Showcase. And I'm very fascinated by it because even at first I watched the PlayStation Showcase, I'm like, oh, I'm disappointed. And then I look at the games, I'm like, okay, Final Fantasy 16, the game looks amazing. Spider-Man 2, what we got of it was amazing. I still think finding out the factions is delayed. I think the Project Q and the headphones and the Gran Turismo trailer that didn't make sense. And the fact Jim Ryan just come, I think that was supposed to be factions, and then they had to cut it out because it wasn't ready and they were going to delay it and whatever. But it just that part didn't make sense. But the rest of it, I was like, was it our expectations is the reason we didn't like it? Because like I didn't think it was bad. Like there were some games that looked great, and then I started looking into the math. So I was like, all these Xbox people are taking these so-called victory laps. The showcase didn't even come out for. I hate console warring, but like Xbox literally just released one of the worst games of the year. If it wasn't for Gollum, we'd still be like, okay, Redfall is the worst game of the year. But Gollum's like, don't
Gollum
worry, hold my beer,
blows.
I got you. But like Xbox hasn't released besides Forza and the Minecraft games. I'll give them. I like the Minecraft games.
High five.
They haven't really released anything exclusive, right? Because everybody was complaining about PlayStation exclusives at all
No.
that are any good in any way. Because please don't tell me Pentiment, because no, like there was just yes, they're putting stuff on Game Pass, and I don't understand how people can take victory laps off conferences and stuff like this when you haven't played any of the games. Spider-Man 1 on the PlayStation 4/PlayStation 5 sold over 20 million copies. 20 million. So I wanted to go through numbers with you guys and then we'll talk about it. And I want to go back to the Xbox One because I think it's important.
I
The
love
Xbox
numbers.
One and the PlayStation 4 both released in 2013 in November. The Xbox One sales consoles 51.28 million. The PlayStation 4 117 million. The Xbox One in its lifetime, these are games that were not on PlayStation. They could be on PC, they could be on anything, but just not on PlayStation. 31 exclusive games on console. $24.6 million in exclusive sales. And that's just on what I could find, but that's just your Halos, your Gears. That's the best they could do. 24.6. Remember that Spider-Man is 20 million. Top selling game on the Xbox One in its generation, PUBG
Ugh.
at 9 million. And
Dude, that was such a fad too.
The next highest selling game
Fortnite.
is Halo 5 at 5 million. Sony Benz flop, and I'm using air quotes at this time, sold more. Waba loves the game. Days Gone sold more than their number one selling exclusive game on their console. The game that didn't get a sequel, and that's why I put out that question on Twitter a while ago. I was like, would Days Gone be considered more a bit? If Days Gone was released on the Xbox, I guarantee you it would have a sequel. And then you look at the PS4. How many console exclusives? Games that are not on Xbox, only on their console. Now, the number is very high, but you have to remember that PlayStation has pretty much a monopoly in Japan.
Yeah.
So
Let me guess,
245.
I was gonna guess 80. Holy crap.
245. Spider-Man tops number one selling game on the console. Spider-Man over Grand Theft Auto, everything, 20 million. God of War second at 19.5. The reason Grand Theft Auto
Jesus.
doesn't go on here is because Grand Theft Auto is the number one selling game on PlayStation 3. Anyways, because it gets released on every console. So far this generation, Xbox Series X, both PlayStation 5 and Xbox released November 2020. Xbox Series X and S, so any console sales are combined with regards to Xbox, so we can't get which one is selling more. Total console sales, 20 million between the two consoles. Game Pass subs, 25 million. They're saying around 30 million now, but this is as of the last release stats. Xbox Live, 120 million. But remember, everybody has Xbox Live. So I put it in there, but kind of don't like it. Consoles exclusives to date, 12.
I was gonna say 15.
Every single one of them has been cross-gen except Hi-Fi Rush and Redfall. I'm not doing exclusive to Game Pass, blah, blah, blah. I'm just doing consoles exclusives.
Yep.
Because console sales matter. And Phil Spencer's like, if we make good games, they don't sell. I don't believe that. If you make great games, you sell consoles. Even Colin Moriarty was on Iron Lord's podcast, and he was like, exclusives. We keep talking about exclusives. Exclusives matter. I'm sorry. That's the reason I switched from Xbox 360 to PlayStation back in the day was for Uncharted, Infamous, and then eventually the last. It's exclusives that kept me there. Like it is what it is. Console sales to date for the PlayStation 5, 31.7 million. That's a big. It's a big difference. PlayStation's Plus subscribers, 47.4 million. Remember, it's a newer service. With an estimate of just over 50 million now, 30% of them have subscribed to the new tier system. So over that in the extra. So they're making more money. Console exclusives that are PS5 only, 10. Hold on. Cross-gen, add another 9. So God of War is a cross-gen title. It's on, and so is Horizon. It is on PS5 and the PlayStation 4. So in total, their console exclusives are 19. I just wanted to I wanted to separate them because as of right now, Xbox has only released 12. If you look at, so everybody going, what is they have already released 19 games that are only on the PlayStation.
And the
And
difference is
so
they're all
far, those
doing
games
better.
have been Horizon,
Yeah.
God of War. They're as Ratchet and Clank.
They're
They're
better.
what we would call bang. So I'm not console warring here, but people need to get off the ledge
It's
is what I think
data.
I'm
It's
trying to get. Like
interesting.
Spider-Man 2 is going, if Spider-Man 1 sold 20 million copies, Spider-Man 2 is probably going to have a 70% rate of per console. So you're telling me they're probably going to get 25 million in sales on this game. This game's going to be huge. So them only having Spider-Man 2 in their showcase this year is still going to eclipse any game that probably releases on the Xbox.
I
Unless
wonder.
Starfield is like the greatest game of all time, it won't matter. And if it like I just people need to understand they've already shown us Wolverine, they're gonna show us games. I'm not making excuses for them because they showed us a ton of live service and that's what they're gonna go for. But if I look at it more in another perspective. If you don't like it, go to the other console. It doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
PlayStation likes money. All companies like money. Xbox likes money. That's why they push Game Pass. And Game Pass is an amazing service. Amazing service. But the reason they're pushing these live service games because that's where the money is.
Question about your data. First off, love the data. Excellent. If you don't like data, get wrecked. That was actually super interesting. And I'm not being sarcastic. I actually really like that. What in the sales numbers does that include? Free downloads or is that purchase titles?
It's purchase
From Game
titles.
Pass. Interesting. So that's actually people that paid money. So okay, I think that's
So
a good
you could
clarifying
almost put the
point.
Game Pass subscribe. Like I get what you're saying because Game Pass first party games go to the thing, but unfortunately, I can only go with the data I have. Right.
No, I think that's good because otherwise people might say like, oh well, the number's inflated because people can just download it for free. Same with Sony. But the fact that this is someone who actually paid money
But
for it, that shows
that's why I
someone
wanted to
who's super
include
excited.
Xbox One because
Mhm.
Game Pass didn't come to the end of the console generation. Gears of War 5 and Halo 5 released before Game Pass was a thing.
Mhm.
Okay. So, like I said, I think the biggest stat is saying something like Days Gone, that originally the guy said that they sold like whatever, they beat Ghost of Tsushima, and then everybody was like, no, it comes in around $7 million, but that's a lot because it came out on
Mhm.
PC. That game, which was considered a failure to Sony, sold more than Halo 5.
I like this data
Mm.
because it validates my opinion, and I will leverage any sort of information that makes me
Now,
sound right. So
I play on both
love it.
consoles.
Excellent.
I just the 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 victory lap that all these Xbox people take, and the new one is the Rift Apart one. How they talked in the thing that the SSD allows us to do this. Of course, a PC can do everything you like. Honestly, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That if you think that and that's your thing, like, ooh, it's our gotcha moment. You obviously don't know that a PC is better than a console. You giant non-smart person. Like, I just I look at this stuff and I'm like, I see this console warring stuff and I'm like, your arguments that you use to say my brand is better than the other brand is so small.
Mm.
It's so flimsy. It can be easily blown over and destroyed. If and then I could go on the other foot. I could just start bringing up Nintendo numbers. Nintendo crushes them all. Eats them for breakfast. Nintendo doesn't put any of their games on sale. They don't do
Yeah.
anything and they crush it.
And they only have 5
They
pixels
have like a
the whole game.
90% capture rate on their first party games per console. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Love it.
So I'm going
Go
to
ahead.
interject here. The biggest issue, I'm not a console. I'm a PC nerd. I play
So you
on
get
everything.
everything.
I
You
have
just get
everything.
everything now.
I have everything.
Everything he's given.
Everything is given.
Not the good
Nothing
stuff. They
is
keep that on the
taken.
consoles.
Not play. No one does anymore. They're
The
all coming to
biggest
PC.
the biggest issue, my biggest issue with the PlayStation Showcase wasn't it wasn't like really, it was what they didn't show. All I
I agree
wanted
with
was
you.
exclusives. That's all I wanted.
Same.
It's the same with Nintendo. It's the same with Xbox.
Oh,
Like,
I thought you guys talked about it. Like, I was just talking about
Love it.
oh, we
the
did.
discourse on there that
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
the PlayStation is dead, and I'm like,
I
that's the
don't
dumbest thing I've ever
I
heard.
don't anyone that I see on Twitter that has like anything to do with Xbox or Sony or Nintendo in their name or in their icon or in their banner or in their description, I don't even listen to, because they are deluded into believing that their console is the superior console. And really, that's not true. There is no such thing as a superior console because they all offer something different, right? So, like, the Switch is a 7-year-old game, but people will fanboy for Nintendo because it has Mario and Zelda, and that's just what they want, right? Same with PlayStation. You know, they have The Last of Us, God of War, Horizon, and then Xbox has Gears of War, Halo. It's just like that's what they're gonna tie themselves to. So their word doesn't mean anything. So all these dorks the next day or the hour after that were like, Sony's dead. Sony has no exclusives. We shouldn't even be dealing with those, because they're the same ones that when, Sony posts like, they're the same ones that when the game company posts like a trailer, underneath it in the comments they write, "Ugh, massive L, ugh, L." Ugh. So I hate it as a gaming dad. I hate it because I never want my kid to be one of those console exclusive dorks that is like, I'm only gonna play on PlayStation.
You just play it wherever it's. You know where I play it? Wherever I can get the best bang for my buck.
Yeah,
Or where it's the better version of the game.
Yeah,
PC usually is the better version of the game,
I
unless it's
I
a
play
PlayStation port.
yeah. Oof. Man, if that Ratchet and Clank
Except
port is
Ratchet
not
and Clank
good,
is done by Nixie. Nixie did the Spider-Man port. The Spider-Man port was
which was
amazing.
great.
So
It was fantastic. So I have hope, because I still haven't played Ratchet and Clank, and Court's like, you have to play it, and it's coming on PC, and I'm gonna play it.
I would say
if it plays
it's
like
gonna
garbage,
be-
I'm gonna be pissed.
I'll let you know.
I will say one thing I've observed is a lot of hopium, as you will, for the conference. People basically, I still thought it was not great, and I don't mean because of exclusives. I mean the conference was bad, and from a presentation standpoint, because there were things that we saw that told us nothing. And as the viewer, you want to know what you're getting into. So one thing I did not like that Sony did, and we couldn't talk about because it happened after, was they would just put these tweets out being like, hey, let me tell you about this game. Look what it's about. Why did you not tell us that when you had our captive attention? Stop disrespecting us and our time.
Like
And that's
Concord?
what I didn't like. And I don't mind if somebody, and again, I'm going to basically disagree with the general population, but if you think that that was a good conference, I don't agree with you. It was not good. And I don't mean what was shown. I mean, if you went to work with a presentation like that, my job, and I said, hey, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on, but don't worry, I'll send an email after. I would get fired for wasting people's time. And that's what I feel like they did. How come they can do it? But I can tell us everything you want to, or don't put enough, like as much stuff. Value our time, please. That's how I feel.
Duff.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Let's we have two more games. I know we want to touch on. Huh?
What are we gonna talk about?
I know.
Listen,
Pez.
let me tell you about 2 games I've been playing, gentlemen. The
Oh, you've
first,
playing games?
the first is a throwback to a little. I think it was late 90s, I think it was a late 90s movie called Starship Troopers Extinction.
Oh,
Let me tell you about this game. Waba watched me play it on Twitch. It is
bonkers.
Pure insanity. So right now it is PC only, I believe. It's in early access. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is you are part of the Starship Trooper military. You go to a planet, and you basically fight off waves and waves of bugs as you do objectives. And then at the end, whether you pass or fail, you have to extract. And that's where it gets insane, because the game throws a million of these Starship Trooper bugs at you as you're running to these drop ships. It's a great time. Again, it's I got it from their creative program, so thank you. Lurk It, the folks over at Lurk It. But it's been a lot of fun, ton of fun. If you are a fan of Starship Troopers, you would love it. It is truly built around the 1998 movie or whenever it came out. 97.
Yep.
Wow,
I just
Wobble,
looked
were
it up,
you alive
97.
then? Were you a wee lad?
I was a tiny boy
Tiny boy.
in age,
I
not
remember that
likely
movie.
not size.
Pez, were you with like me when there was no nudie scenes where you're like, oh come on, that had it like written all over it. It just never happened. Because back then we could like get away with if it was an action movie, we were younger, and just all of a sudden that would happen. You're like, yeah, out of nowhere, and your
Oh,
parents are like,
right.
ah, son of a. You're like,
Yep.
ah.
Yep. And you're like, hey,
Seen it.
hey.
Actually, no, isn't there the showers?
There's
I
a
think
shower
there is a
scene.
shower scene. Yeah,
There's
there's a shower scene.
It's
Okay.
pretty good.
Denise Richards.
It's a fun game. What I like about it is the squad size is 16. So you and your homies can roll in. Anywhere from, it's not stuck to the 3 or 4 squads that we have now. You roll in 5. I think at one point we had 10 people. We were running like basically 2.5 squads. It was a great time. Second game, and I'll take any questions from the peanut gallery, was we got our hands on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre tech test.
Jesus, it was like 1980 cult, and they want their games back.
Yep. They called, and I picked up my Zach Morris phone and I went, hello. So do you guys remember Friday the 13th, the game? So in that game you played as Jason Voorhees. It was a 1v7, and basically you had to either, if you were Jason, you had to kill all the counselors, or if you were the counselors, you had to get out.
So when are we getting Nightmare on Elm Street?
Oh, I don't know.
Sequel.
Maybe. So, well, what happened is the folks that made Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they made Friday the 13th, but then it got into some legal battle over who owns like the IP of Friday the 13th, and it got shut down. Like 2 years after its release.
People really like that game.
Yeah, it was great. Oh my god, it was so much fun. My friends and I played a lot on Friday nights. Just like 7 of us, just having a blast. This one is obviously Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's 3v4. So there's 3 family members.
Based on a true story.
Based on a true story.
That used to scare us as kids. Bubba, no, you see, we're old enough that was
I thought Blair Witch was real.
That was
Blair Witch was real.
Court, that script that he reads is the opening to the game. Based on a true story. Mary Magdalene was down in Texas.
Yeah.
So you can play as either one of the 3 family members. I don't remember their names other than Leatherface, who you can play as. Who I did play as. It was pretty fun. Or your 4 victims.
Have you ever been him for Halloween?
What?
Have you ever been him for Halloween?
Mm-mm.
You're large stature, so I thought that for
I could
sure
pull
that's
it off.
just a given. Yeah, 100%. You should do that.
Halloweens are getting like warmer and warmer every year, and I'm afraid I'll sweat to death now.
No, fair enough.
I just go
soon. If it gets hotter, you're gonna be leather skin.
Bazinga! Is that what the kids say now? Bazinga. So you play as either one of the 3 family members or one of the 4 victims. As the family member, your job is to they're like basically not kill your victims, but injure them so you can collect their blood to feed his name's Grandpa.
Not their skin?
Huh? Nope, not their skin. And then you get the family gets powers from feeding Grandpa blood, basically. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, dude. It's weird, dude. And as a victim, your job is to get out. So they had the tech test this weekend, just to see how everything ran. It was fine. I probably wouldn't buy it. Honestly, I enjoyed being a family member. I hated being victims. I was just locked in a basement and I couldn't find the tools to pick locks. And when I tried to pick locks, they all broke. Like all the screwdrivers or whatever broke. So I'm like, great, I'm just stuck in a basement for 25 minutes. Matches were kind of long. I think the longest match ran probably like 25, 30 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. And so those are the couple of games I played this weekend in between soccer tournaments. So yeah, I would say Starship Troopers, if you're into that, go buy it. Texas Chainsaw, it's not even out yet, but there will probably be betas, but I would wait on that. We'll see what happens.
Oh, and I'll have more to talk about on Super Mega Baseball next week on the show. And I'm going to go see Spider-Man this weekend with my daughter. So I will have a full review on the show. No spoilers.
No spoilers, because I want to go see it.
Dude,
I'm
I'm
excited
so
for that.
excited to go see
I
Spider-Man.
can't wait. I can't wait.
The Ninja Turtles trailer dropped today. Looks so
Dude,
good.
It looks so good.
Gosh.
Dude, Jackie Chan is Splinter. Let's go. Sign me up.
I know, right?
Sign me up.
Paul Rudd
Can't
is
wait.
that lizard dude. So
Can't
good.
wait. Mondo Gecko. Oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
Mondo.
I just love his voice. He's just like so stoner voice, and I was just like, that's awesome. You know,
Mondo
Paul
Gecko,
Rudd was just
man.
like, just please, can I be them?
Yep.
Please.
And that's
So
all I had.
Right on. So I think that about wraps it up for this episode of Three Dads and a Console. Remember, you can check us out live on youtube.com/3dadsandaconsole, where you can hang out with us like them fine folks in chat today, making us laugh, agreeing with Court on certain scenes in movies. You got to be here to
Scuba
see
Steve,
it.
come on. Good guy.
My
Got
man.
he knows he probably knows the exact minute for the frame that you were
You know
talking
what?
about.
Anybody that is at our age, we had to. It's like, Pez, I'm going to say a movie to you, and then I'm going to kind of depict the scene, and then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Lethal Weapon 3,
Mhm.
inside the trailer before it
Mhm.
blows up, when
Mhm.
he wakes up, and all you get is that one little side, and it
Yep.
just moves.
Yep.
You
That's
get
it.
it once. It's such a split second, but you're like, there it is.
It's a flash. And you're just like, ooh, okay.
There we go.
And we'll be back in a flash next week.
Ooh,
And
but
make
not
sure to
the
rate us.
flash.
Not the flash.
No, in a couple weeks, I'm going to go see that 100%.
I'm
Michael
excited.
Keaton
for it.
Batman's in that, man. Jesus.
Mhm. It's true.
Hopefully they bring Bane back. But no. I'm kidding. Yeah, that's all we got. Any final words for the folks?
Yeah, like I said, I just gave my final words. So how do I can't do it twice.
Well, Pez, what about you?
Spay and neuter your pets.
Oh, and we'll have Diablo 4 impressions next. I'll talk about us. I'll have Super Mega Baseball, Diablo, and
And Spider-Man. It's a quote
Spider-Man.
spectacular next week.
Here's
Seriously.
my final words with no context. You can rent a truck for 75 minutes from Home Depot for $19.99.
You guys, you know what? If
There
you're
you
in the
go.
Boston area, go find Waba. He's got lots of things to sell you.
Don't steal Court
I
cereal.
just sold an
that's been
old
sitting on-
camera, an old projector today for $20 or $30.
And
There you
if you do find Waba, there's a box at his house filled with all these things for me. Just mail it for me, please.
Oh,
You're
He
gonna have to-
even sent me, just to let everybody know, he even sent me a message, asked me what kind of Oreos I like, and I told him, and it still didn't matter. I was like, I don't even know why I'm telling him.
Waba was like, "Oh, I'm glad you like these Oreos," and then he ate them over
Like, why
Memorial
ask me?
Day
Like,
weekend.
He's like, I'm gonna buy another perishable item that I'm not gonna send you, and by the time you get it, it's just mold.
Yep. Enjoy
Wait, were
all
you
this
gonna eat it?
penicillin I bought you.
Yeah, seriously. Here's the penicillin.
were-
Make sure
were
you
you
give it to
planning
your
on
daughter.
Were you planning on eating it?
A cereal, 100%, but that's fine. Not
But
anymore.
it's collector. Never mind. All right, bye guys.
Oh yeah. Next week I'm gonna open a package in front of Waba. Yeah, 100%.
Done. Okay.